So as far as color goes on spinners, I'm probably gonna start out putting together some sort of perch color. I'll start out with a chartreuse, maybe pair that with an orange or darker green bead. I'll try that, kind of match the hatch, you know, you've all heard that. If that doesn't work, I'll actually go complete opposite of the spectrum and do something like a red or something where, you know, it's kind of more of a vibration tool. Red disappears real quick on the walleye's line of sight, so maybe I'll do a red and just be a little more subtle. And if that doesn't work, I'll come through something in between, whether it be more of a neutral, less kind of glam like a dark purple or blues. But you know, a lot of these hot days, maybe a gold will work well, something with a lot of flash. So kind of let the fish tell me, you know, if they're keying in on that perch color, then that's great. I'll run that as much as possible. But if that's not the case, I have no problem varying it drastically to see if one side of the spectrum is hitting and one side's completely off, or vice versa.
Hey, I'm Joe Big Volleybug with Leisure Outdoor Adventures. So what does it mean when we talk colors, presentation-wise? When you have clear water, color becomes very important. We do not want to have loud colors here on Leech Lake. Natural is better. Any bait that looks like the bottom of a fish, here's a plastic, white bottom. Here's a jig wrap, white bottom. Here's a bobber setup, same color as a leech, black. Nothing specific that gains attention other than natural colors. This blends in with the leech, and the other presentations I just showed you are natural colors. So what are the natural baits? Shiner minnows, perch, yellow perch, crayfish, whitefish, ciscos. So your minnows that we talked about, your shiners, ciscos, whitefish, are silverish with white bottoms. Perch, a little bit of a whitish yellow bottom with stripes on the side. And of course, leeches and crayfish, they're kind of a gray to black color. So nothing bright in the ecosystem. So keep it natural, keep it clear, and have good luck on Leech Lake.
Hey everybody, Brian Brosdahl here. You know, everybody asks me, how do I choose color when I'm fishing? I use color based on the water clarity, and that's a simple thing, but when the water's darker or has a little bit of stain to it, there's a lot of times I use something that has metallics, something that shines through, gold, silver, or a color with metallic, like red metallic. And then if the water's clear, if the lake has perch, and most lakes do, where there's walleyes, so you want to use perch patterns, which are green, orange, chartreuse, and a lot of that. So if you have a combination of that, it'll work. But a lot of lakes have shiner minnows. Rusty crayfish have blue in their claws, so that little blue correlation. And perch, when they eat crayfish, have blue jaws. So there's blue a little bit everywhere, and that's why blue is such a great color. And of course, your fire tiger patterns, and it doesn't have to be all fire tiger. It could be a combination of red, orange, green, black, contrasts in any color water. In really, really dark water, ice fishing or open water, I like to use black. Red is a great color. You know, bloodworms have that phase where they do turn red, and the fish really pay attention to it. So remember that when you're fishing. If you're on the edge of a midge fly hatch, those things are coming up as worms, turning into flies at the surface. Red is a great color. Pink, any of that stuff. So it doesn't matter where you're at. If you're on the Great Lakes, or if you're in Minnesota, or if you're in Dakotas, they all eat that stuff.
One of the other questions, and everyone asks this, we get asked a lot, is how important is color, jig color, bait color. I try to be as basic as possible. I will use specifically a brighter orange color at times when I know the crayfish are molting, because those crayfish are turning that bright, almost blaze orange color. So I'll use, you know, the orange jigging wraps and an orange colored jig head, things like that. But I really don't get too crazy with it, other than more of the just neutral plain colors. Now, you talk about a lake like Sakakawea, you know, the fish out there are predominantly feeding on smelt, so we use lots of white colors. Anything that's got a little flash to it or a little purple in it, color's a little more crucial out there. A very, very dirty river basins, such as maybe like the Mississippi River in the middle of summer. That's where you're gonna get into your clown colors and your fire tigers, anything that's gonna stand out a little bit in that dirty water. Same thing goes with Lake of the Woods. Anything that's highly visible that those fish are gonna be able to see seems to work a little bit better. But in these clear, deep, colder lakes, we tend to stick to just a little more neutral, little more natural presentation. And when I talk about neutral or dull colors, basically that means a black jig head, even an unpainted jig head, something that doesn't necessarily have a lot of color. Flash can be good, so a chrome color, but not a lot of wow, bright orange, bright green, things like that. More of your duller colors, your navies, your black colors, even brown. A dull green jig works a lot out here too. So just nothing that's too flashy, more of something that's just gonna blend in with the environment.